Introduction to Databricks Asset Bundles, or DABs. DABs enable us to write code once and deploy everywhere. But what exactly are they? DABs, or Databricks Asset Bundles, use YAML files to specify the artifacts, resources, and configurations of a Databricks project. They allow us to manage and deploy all the necessary components of a Databricks project in a consistent and efficient way to multiple environments. So, how exactly do DABs work? The new Databricks CLI has a specific bundle command to validate, deploy, and run Databricks Asset Bundles using a YAML configuration file. We will learn how to do this throughout the course. So, where exactly are DABs used? DABs are extremely useful during development and CI/CD processes for deploying Databricks assets to target environments, while modifying specific configurations for each environment. We will see how to do this throughout the course. Let's take a look at the following diagram, which provides a high-level view of a development and CI/CD pipeline with bundles. If you're working locally, you'll build the project bundle with your team using a local environment setup, or you can do this within your Databricks workspace. From here, you can either use bundles or manually deploy to your development environment, which can include a development workspace or catalogs. This is where you can test your changes away from production. After development, users can then commit changes to version control within a project repository and push your development changes. After the changes are committed, you can set a notification to trigger to initiate the CI/CD pipeline. In a typical pipeline, the tests are first deployed to a staging environment. Once all tests pass in staging, the code can then be deployed to the production environment after following your organization's processes such as code review and approval. Now that we have a good overview of the CI/CD process, let's dive into a typical simple project structure for your bundle. In your project folder, you'll want to create multiple subfolders to organize your assets. A simple project structure should start with your project folder, followed by various folders and files such as resources, SRC, tests, and a main Databricks.yaml file. These folders may contain additional subfolders to store specific files. The resources folder should contain additional YAML configuration files for your Databricks asset bundles if needed. The SRC or source folder contains the source files needed for your data pipeline, such as notebooks and Python files. The tests folder contains your unit and integration tests for the pipeline. Organizing and modularizing your folders and files will help you during development and maintenance as your project grows. This is a simple example, and your project may have additional files and folders or a different organizational structure. The Databricks.yaml file is a required bundle configuration file used to deploy your Databricks assets. The file must be expressed in YAML format, contain at minimum the top-level bundle mapping, contain at least one and only one bundle configuration file named Databricks.yaml. The Databricks.yaml file is key to your bundle. Let's take a look at a simple example. First, the YAML file contains several top-level mapping keys that are left aligned. In this example Databricks.yaml file, it includes the top-level mappings bundle, resources, and targets. Other top-level mappings include variables, workspace, permissions, artifacts, include, and sync. We will cover many of these top-level mappings in this course. A bundle configuration file must contain only one top-level bundle mapping that associates the bundle's contents with a name. Additionally, you can include other Databricks workspace settings such as cluster ID, compute ID, Git, and a few others, if needed. The additional mappings beneath the top-level mapping must be indented. The following example declares the top-level mapping key bundle with a name mapping that specifies the bundle name, Demo01 bundle. The resources mapping specifies information about the Databricks resources used by the bundle, such as jobs, DLT pipelines, MLflow, and more. The resources are defined using the corresponding Databricks REST API parameters. Now, each resource type mapping includes one or more individual resource declarations, each of which must have a unique name. In this example, the job has the resource mapping name L1 Simple Dab. This job creates a job named myJobName L1 Simple Dab using the name mapping key, and this job contains one or more tasks specified using the corresponding REST API parameters. Within the tasks mapping, the task is named Create Bronze Table and uses the notebook path mapping key to specify the notebook to use. It's important to use a relative path of the notebook within your project here with the correct extension for the notebook. Be aware that starting December 20th, 2024, the default format for new notebooks will be the .ipynb format. If you do not specify the correct notebook extension, an error will be returned. In this example, this notebook is using the traditional .py extension. The top-level mapping key targets sets specific environments and environment configurations, including the environment mode type, such as development or production, the default target environment, which should be set to the development environment. This ensures that if you don't specify where to deploy this bundle to run, it will default to the development environment. In the targets mapping, you can include other various configurations and configuration overrides for that target. In this example, we include two target environments, development and production, each with unique configurations and overrides. In this simple example, we specify the mode development and default true mappings for the development environment with a specific development workspace URL. For the production environment, we use the mode production and specify the production workspace URL. Now that we have a good understanding of the Databricks.yaml file, let's explore how to validate, deploy, and run our Databricks asset bundle. First, you'll want to validate your bundle. You can do this with the Databricks CLI command Databricks bundle validate. Next, you'll deploy the bundle to your Databricks workspace. To do this, use the Databricks bundle deploy command, the -t flag for target, and specify the environment you want to deploy to. In this example, we will deploy to the development environment. By default, development is set as the default target, so if you don't specify where to deploy, it will go to development. However, it's best practice to be explicit. Once the bundle is deployed to Databricks, you will typically want to run it. To run the job in the bundle, use the Databricks bundle run command, the -t flag for development, and the key that specifies the job to run. Here, the key is L1 Simple Dab. And that's it. We've covered how to create, validate, deploy, and run a simple Databricks asset bundle.